This is Lauraschopen, and I'm in Issaquah, Washington, at a little spot by the river that my feet took me to. My voice in my head thought I was running a different way to a different place, but my feet somehow they knew to follow something much wiser, and they took me here, and I didn't know, the voice in my head didn't even know this existed. But my feet aren't so disconnected in their experience from the universe that they are of. So my feet don't have as much confusion if the voice in my head doesn't try to impose. And that's kind of how we are about everything, isn't it? The voice in our head that also creates a lot of emotion and different blocked dark energies that we feel as sensation. That's all an overlay over this incredible intelligence that knows everything, that is omniscient, that is omnipresent. And I'd like you to just imagine if you had no ability to hold the thought of good and bad, or right or wrong, or should or shouldn't. If those thoughts were impossible, is there any story in you that could still hold together? Because that's what's happening to me. The bottom is dropping out of me and my idea of who I am in the world and who I was in the past and who I need to be in the future, or the fear of who I might be in the future. And what's been done to me or not done for me, or whatever. We all have this series of stories that are replaying in our minds continually. And what I'm seeing is that there's only one ego here, and it's living by getting itself in that other image to act out and to hold the thought of good and bad, or right or wrong. And it's just a game. It's nothing. And as this unraveling happens in me, there's like a conveyor belt of stories that come up to be met with this understanding. And I'm with family here, and so it's been perfect. Because of course family are the perfect form for keeping an ego going, because all the images are wired with the same stories. And so there's immediate, well-rehearsed dynamics and button pushing and story thread pulling, and we all go to the same shared file drawers when we talk. And the world is like that. It's not just families, it's the world family. But I'm being enlightened to the idea that good and bad is a fabrication. And its purpose is to like a magician, keep an illusion seeming to live. And what I mean by that is, as what's here that I call I, as I drop this idea of good or bad or should or shouldn't, the whole story of Laura begins to diminish. And it's not that it dies as much as it's just not there, because it was never true, except for this idea that there was good and bad and right and wrong and should and shouldn't. Because try to find yourself without a story of being a good person or being a bad person or being a victim or hurting somebody. And then that's where the real fear comes, isn't it? But we just have to stay with that void that we fear, because as I am really allowing that, I'm being shown and experiencing directly that it's actually just radiance. It's just empty, but it's not nothing. It's a full nothing. And this is the way to peace, because the only thing that ever had a conflict was stories. And if you're interested in joining me in the space, then you might consider coming to my Zoom event on Saturday, June 26th at 3 o'clock Pacific time, and we're going to join in the field, as I call it, and the angels who have been working with me will be working with all of us to help us begin to disidentify with the idea of good and bad and right and wrong, and all the stories that spawn out of those simple words. It's like good and bad were the first evil. Those two words that we took seriously. And there was tremendous improvisation that went on and on and on from there. And now we're tracing our way back. and letting go of the whole improvisation tool, the core of it all, the linchpin. So I hope you have a beautiful day. And I'll say goodbye for now.